Cool. Hello and welcome to the Driving Maul. You guys have asked me before what's the difference between the northern and southern hemispheres, and also how the whole Mitre10 Cup and that kind of stuff works. And so I thought the best guy to ask would be Nick here, who has played for the Dragons in Wales, so he understands how it all goes on in Europe, and also has played Super Rugby for the Highlanders, Hurricanes and the Chiefs, as well as playing Mitre10 Cup for his home province of the Turbos. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, how you going?
Thank you for joining me. I've just got... Oh, hang on. Sorry, I forgot something.
That's the one. It's the one.
If you're going to interview someone from Manawatu Turbos, you need to have a bucket head and be part of the bucket heads. So this is just for you.
Liam was an actual bucket head a couple of years back.
Liam was actually bucket head. Oh, dearie me. Now, the bucket heads are fantastic. Just they're the only group of supporters I've come across in New Zealand so far that actually sing. No one else does. They're fantastic, but they do swear too much. So sorry, I couldn't get a video for you last weekend. So the when you're playing for the Dragons in Wales, you're with the same team for pretty much 11 months of the year. You must get to know them all very well, and as to what they do and how they and how each player reacts.
Yeah, you do. So I guess 11 months of the year you're as a team. The 4 weeks off, but the other 11 you're together. So you get to go. You know players very well. You have pretty decent pre-season with them. And, I guess if you compare it to here,
So the season structure here is you're with your club or Super Rugby from December through to about July, so you have that pre-season with them. Then you switch over to your Mitre10 Cup, your province, for August through till October, and then you have November off as your holiday. Yep. So when you guys get together as the Turbos, you're coming from 5 or 6 clubs, a couple of Super Rugby franchises.
Yeah, so probably us as a Turbos, all the teams are different to how many Super players have got.
Yep.
We've sort of roughly got around the 10. So the rest of the players sort of do a pre-season. They play for their local clubs in Manawatu and do evening trainings and stuff like that, and then the Super boys are doing their thing. Sort of 3 weeks before the season we turn full time. So depending where they finish in Super Rugby, they get a couple of weeks off. So they sort of come in drips and drabs just before the season, and you won't really only get that sort of probably 1 or 2 weeks before the season as a full team. Otherwise, you've sort of got guys still waiting for them to come in. So, for instance, Michael Highlanders, it's his first game for us this week. Crusaders, being right through.
Yep. Whereas Milner Scudder's been with you for a couple of games now. Did he disappear off to the All Blacks camp midweek?
Yeah, so he was with us most of last week.
Yep.
Then I think he's been with the All Blacks this week, and he joined us again yesterday.
So if you've seen in Mitre10 Cup rugby, you've got players coming in and out. They're all the same all the time. They've not had a pre-season together, and yet somehow you guys managed to get a game plan together. It's not quite barbarians, but it's not. But it's nearly that kind of stage.
Yeah, well, the majority of the squad will do most of that.
Yep.
And so these Super Rugby players come in, but they're of a calibre where they can pick things up pretty quickly. So they generally, I guess, pick up what's going on pretty quickly and fit in from that point of view. But also, there's a bit of continuity between seasons too, especially for these coaches. So a lot of the stuff will be a carryover from last year. So it's just a bit of a refresher for those guys. So
you were playing club rugby this year, not Super Rugby. Is that right?
Yeah, I was out injured. Yeah, so I was injured in the Mitre10 Cup last year, and it was sort of a injury with no clear ending. I was fortunate enough to get a clearance sort of a couple of weeks ago in club rugby, so I managed to get a couple of games for my local club fielding, and then get back into this. So
yeah, and fielding is I looked earlier 20 miles south of, or 20 miles north, of New Plymouth, and so it's basically you were born there, You're still playing for your same club. I mean, you've been Turbos. You've been sort of bleeding green for many years now.
Yeah, absolutely love the Turbos. Pretty lucky to still be able to play for my home province. Not everyone has that luxury. Even for Super Rugby, we had to move around looking for opportunity. But I absolutely love the fact that I've been able to play so many years with Manawatu, and still love it as much as I do. I still love it now as much as I did when I started in 2006.
You said you moved around, so you played for the Highlanders, the Hurricanes, and the Chiefs. Sorry, Hurricanes was the first one. Now, people talk about the New Zealand way of playing. Is it similar across those, or are there kind of fairly big differences culturally between the different Super Rugby franchises?
Yeah, I think it's all, I guess, that's a tough one. No, definitely different, and I think it all depends, I guess, on who's coaching at the time. I had Colin Cooper at Hurricanes, and we had a pretty stacked team there, so a lot of X Factor. Went down with Jamie Joseph to the Highlanders. Mm-hmm. Probably not so many big names, but like a lot of grafters and a lot of tough buggers down there, and that sort of that's sort of Jamie Joseph down to a T. So that was sort of our game plan, sort of roll the sleeves up and get stuck in. And we back up the Chiefs, Dave Rennie. Probably a bit of both those sort of things. And so I guess variations in the different teams, but it all depends on who's in there, the makeup of players, and who's coaching.
Okay, I was wondering whether the New Zealand style meant it was easier when you guys came together from different places to play together for your province. Yeah,
I think it is. I think you'll find. I do find this in New Zealand that things they don't get shared, but if one team's doing something, it won't be long before the other teams do similar. Mm-hmm. For instance, the Hurricanes started a really rusty. I think it was 1 or 2 seasons ago. And now you'll notice most of the sort of New Zealand franchises are doing a similar sort of D system. So I guess from that point of view, it's not a big country, and
but also I remember seeing a tweet from Auckland Rugby saying that they had provincial players playing in all 5 Super Rugby franchises one weekend, which basically means when the players come back, it doesn't take long for information to spread, because you've got players from the Hurricanes will have gone back to probably, say, 10 of the provinces. That means that there'll be players in the Super Rugby franchises the following year having talked to somebody like that who knows something that's been good, and so ideas can spread quickly.
Yeah, and that's what happens. And that's I guess another good thing. I said it earlier about the players at home laying a platform, but it's also good getting all those players coming back in with their fresh ideas from their super provinces, and that's happened. We get those boys coming in for our scrum, Makala, Toa Fraser, Armstrong, and those boys. Then it's just those small things that they're bringing in. So, yeah.
Whereas when you play for the Dragons, do you notice a bigger difference between, say, the Dragons and the Scarlets, the Ospreys, in playing styles than you see over here?
And between them as a whole and us? And
No. Well, here you can see things that are shared, and you can see it's big. Yeah. There's not massive different styles.
No, I think there's a bit of a different. From what I can understand or what I can see, is it was a bit different in terms of what each team tried to bring, and I don't think there was as much sharing of information over there as there was here.
Yep.
And like you said, that's more than likely because there's not the transfer of players playing for this team, and then you get 5 or 6 different teams just go back to one team sort of thing.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's this image in the north anyway that basically New Zealand Rugby runs things and dictates what's happening where, and it sounds like it's more organic than that. It's not just a dictate from central office down saying you guys will coach this way. It's much more organic.
Yeah, I think my understanding is that it's. Yep. You talk about analysis, and there's a lot of that in New Zealand, like there's all around the world. But I think when an idea is sort of put forward, teams will run with it. They're not scared to sort of mix up the status quo sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm actually going to talk to the video analyst of the Taranaki on Monday, so we'll have a chat from him as to how much the analysis plays into it and how much they learn from that as well. So your time in Wales, obviously the Dragons were going through probably some financial issues at the time, a bit stressful over there, or
it wasn't too bad from a player's point of view, but it was disappointing to see a whole lot of, bad publicity and bad media off it.
Yep.
We like to say that it didn't affect the team, but we didn't really perform during that time. I really enjoyed my time there. It was an awesome bunch of boys in Wales, and the fans and the supporters and the sponsors, all great people. So we absolutely loved that time.
But a bit of a muddy pitch sometimes.
Yeah. So I sort of arrived right in the middle of winter. So I think it was my second game against Connacht. I think must have been about 0 degrees and absolutely muddy. It was a good introduction.
For those of you that don't know, Rodney Parade has improved its pitch, but it did have some. They used to play football. Newport would play there, and also Dragons, and so you'd have 3 lots of teams trying to play on it, and it would get destroyed in the middle of winter sometimes if it was got a bad snap.
Absolutely. I think we got a game called off in my last season there. After about 60 minutes, because the pitch was unplayable.
and that's something that New Zealand has done. It has put a lot of investment into their pitches, which is one of the things that they've talked about as well. So thank you for giving us an insight into the differences between Northern and Southern Hemisphere. Good luck tomorrow with the Shield Challenge.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.